Hello from sunny Portugal. I'm here for a couple of weeks and then afterwards I'm on to Dubai and India. And then last but not least, back in beautiful Singapore. Yes, it may be a summer break for many of us, but we're still committed to doing those daily videos that will help everyone understand the sometimes complex world of cross-border transactions as we and our team of tax advisors seek to demystify that sometimes confusing world. My name is Darren Joseph. Please visit htj.tax. We have over 1,000 videos, over 2,000 articles on completely free of charge on cross-border tax issues. I want to talk about the IRS penalties to investors, right? So this basically revolves around two key forms, Form 5471 and Form 5472. We've written and we've spoken at length about it. If you visit our website, htj.tax, put in the form number and a whole bunch of stuff comes in and you can really get into the details. So I'm going to proceed assuming that you basically have a working knowledge and understanding or appreciation of what these forms are. So three things I want you to keep in mind. That generally speaking, number one, certain U.S. persons who invest in foreign companies need to file a Form 5471. And secondly, certain non-U.S. persons who invest in U.S. companies may need to file a Form 5472. So it's about investors, right? And then this leads me to my third point, which is assessable penalties applied to these two forms. What do I mean by assessable penalties? I mean that under IRC section 6671, penalties are payable upon notice and demand. So essentially, these penalties generally cannot be challenged in a tax court. So, okay, let's get specific. Let's take a slightly deeper dive into this. So, if you a U.S. person investing in foreign companies or non-American investing in U.S. entities, and you fail to file these important forms or you're late in filing them, the penalties are really aggressive. So failure to file Form 5471 is $10,000 initially per form. So if you have more than one company, multiply that out with added penalties for continued failure, amounting to another $50,000. And with the 5472, the failure to file that is $25,000 initially. So it is higher, an additional $25K for each 30-day period after the 90 days that that failure continues. Remember, these are accessible, which means generally speaking, they are very hard or cannot be challenged. And what, kind of like the icing on the cake, in February 2022, there was this whistleblower. Well, essentially a kind of whistleblower, maybe not. It was just a former employee. So a guy called Daniel Price, and you can probably Google him. He's formerly with the IRS Office of Chief Counsel. This is a small business in the self-employed section. So former member of that team. He's now in private practice, and he said in a public forum that the IRS often does not read the reasonable cause statements. What are reasonable cause statements? Sometimes when you're late or, delinquent, you speak to a tax advisor, tax lawyer, and then they'll help you file these forms with a reasonable cause statement that explains, hey, I was late because of whatever extenuating circumstances or whatever the case may be. So it's basically something that's trying to explain the non-compliance and hopefully get an abatement of these penalties. What he is saying is that generally, it often happens that these statements are not read. I repeat, generally, his experience is that these statements are not read. So what is the takeaway from this? Ensure that, what they say is an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So work with qualified U.S. tax advisors that understand these forms in the first place to avoid issues. Bear in mind that many U.S. domestic tax teams, they don't understand, they're not really required to be familiar with those forms because they don't normally apply in the U.S. domestic situation. So you probably want to focus on finding a team that is familiar with cross-border issues, with international tax issues. That would help prevent any issues in the first place. I hope this is helpful. My name is Darren Joseph. I am with htj.tax. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.
So if you're a 6, 7, or 8-figure investor, entrepreneur, or business owner who needs a tailor-made solution from a qualified team of professionals, we can help you achieve the international lifestyle the freedom, and even the tax savings you're looking for. Visit us at htj.tax and live that international life.